show.
Oh, say, can you see the dawn's early light?
Okay, it's not playing, but I don't know why it's not playing. It's so strange. Anyways, the bumper song coming back was going to be the women singing the national anthem, yes, at the convention, and it sounded like screeching cats. It was so horrid. They couldn't stand. They for some reason it won't play, but they literally they couldn't get in sync. They didn't know the tune. It was like the first time they were ever even realizing this song existed. The Women's Caucus, right, Susan?
Yeah, at the DNC. Yeah, they all looked at each other like, do you know the words? I don't know the words. They're stumbling through it. And it was humiliating.
The
left doesn't know the national anthem.
Here.
Let's just face it.
Let's try this. Let's see. Yeah, it's not playing. For some reason, it just won't do it. Anyways, it was amazing. Everybody should go check that out. It was horrid, but that's kind of what I expect, though. I mean, I do. I expect that kind of stuff. So, all right. Anything else you wanted to mention? By the way, they did have free vasectomies too, because they don't like kids. They're not about family at all, and they're set to destroy family in every single way possible. So.
Yeah, they are even. I think it was Biden or Obama who gave Paris credit for opening up the schools. They ran commercials against Donald Trump 4 years ago, saying Donald Trump dangerously opened up the schools.
Right.
They were criticizing. So, you got to really keep an eye on them. They love to flip-flop and pretend that they held the other position because they're, professional liars, actually.
Yeah.
I wanted to just mention something about the voter fraud that a lot of people are expecting in terms of manufactured ballots.
Mm-hmm.
And it said of the 168 million who voted last year, 59 million of them, 35% had incomes under $50,000 a year, which means they were like lower income. But Biden's victory, low income Americans accounted from anywhere from 35% to 45%, even though they don't make up that proportion of the population. It was a huge percentage that those were the ballots that ended up being counted. And for example, Arizona, almost 40% of the ballots were people under $50,000 a year. Now, that doesn't mean those were actual people's ballots. It just means that is who they harvested from. Mm-hmm. And Michigan was almost 40%, Nevada 35%, Wisconsin 39%.
Right.
So you can see that that's the emphasis of where they're going to be focusing on manufacturing ballots, if they do that.
Right. And they are across the country. That's what Tina Peters is now convicted for taking a snapshot of the criminality. It's how they turn the tables. It's how the criminals get away with it. And then if you don't go along with it, you're the person that isn't unifying everybody. So if you go up against election fraud, if you are the one that says, we have election fraud here, wait, this is criminal, this is not okay, what are we doing? You're now branded, discredited the criminal for unity, for disrupting unity. And I've noticed that both parties are all in all the time. This is happening in my state right now, where the person that's trying to bring out criminality in the election fraud is the one demonized, while the criminal, like governor in our state, is scot-free and will be rewarded for a whole nother term. And this is going on in so many states, obviously, across America. We have election fraud all the way down to local, and people just won't get the memo. They don't want, it's not happy news. So if it's not happy pill news, they don't want it. And so they just want to act like it's not there. I don't understand that kind of thinking.
They'll say you're being divisive by trying to hold them accountable.
Yeah.
You're holding people accountable for results and for transparency. We always say we want more transparency. Mm-hmm. We're giving you more transparency. We'll be more transparent. Right. And then they call you divisive when you hold up the mirror and say, this is who you are. Look how corrupt you are. Oh, you're being divisive. Yeah. It's classic gaslighting.
They tell you to get along better. They tell you to be part of the part of the success, part of part of the happy. Let's all get around this criminal activity and act like it's not happening and bury our heads in the friggin' sand and act like let's just move on. That's a move on train. I mean, that's literally what we're doing in every state in America right now, and we're going to be doing it federally too. It's just a nightmare that they have captured our entire election system, and people just want to turn a blind eye. It's just easy to live your life like that, I guess. Very strange, very weird.
Yeah, Arizona's requiring photo ID and signature matching, and the Biden administration is suing them for it.
Yeah.
So they were able to get it passed that you have to have, voter ID, and they're getting sued for it by the Biden administration. And you go, what's the problem here, actually?
We're trying to protect our country from our country. This is how bad it is. I laugh because it's so insane. Oh, my gosh. Oh, what are we going to do?
You can't even make it up. And the thing about it is, I think a lot of people's eyes have been opened, especially in the minority communities, where they keep getting promised, and then having the football, like Lucy and the football, pulled away at the last minute over and over. And with social media, the black message is getting out to fellow minorities saying, let's not get taken advantage of again. Let's actually go back to lower inflation, lower gas prices. Just lowering fuel prices alone by creating more supply will lower prices overall, because energy is wrapped into so many products, right? So they're figuring it out, and they're smart. They're not stupid. The Democrats, they like to talk down to their constituents.
They do. And if we, the people, do not turn this boat around and see the fraud for what it is, and see that elections are done, elections are cooked. And if we don't start seeing it, we don't have honest conversations about it. I'm tired of kind of bolstering up the not wanting to look at the situation in the reality that we should be. And it's getting hard, because in 2024, we should absolutely recognize it by now. There's no excuses anymore.
And they shouldn't be making us pretend. We don't want to pretend. We have nothing to hide, but they want to pretend. But we're just not going along with their pretending.
I knew somebody that was a party person, party tribal person. And this person was like, her whole life was about every 4 years doing everything she could. Then she could pat herself on the back. She was actually Republican, and get into the election process and do what she could and knock on doors, and then wait another couple of years, and then would do it again and do it again and do it again. And I just would watch her and go, that you're putting all your hope in this. Why? Every year. I mean, it was just like, I guess we got beaten again. But that was the only contribution toward her own liberty that she ever made, was that. And I thought, oh my gosh, we're so misguided, right? Because that is not where our liberty is anymore. And we need to kind of figure that out. Thank you so much, Susan. Appreciate it. Susan Reeve, she's great. By the way, Melissa's on next. Tomorrow, comedian Jeff Allen's coming to the show, and then Trevor Loudon on Friday, by the way, just as a reminder. Be right back on the Kate Daly Show. Don't go anywhere. KateDalyRadio.com.
Thanks.
Fun.